animal out here, finding barrels when other people can't, and really sticking some big turns in some high-pressure moments.
Yeah, Jack Robinson has been in absolute zen mode. He is, just like you're saying, he's just connected to this wave and connected to the ocean. But Ethan, to me, has been doing the most incredible surfing this event. And, you know, when we look back at his results this year, a third at Margaret River, a third at Sunset, and a third at
Bells Beach. And that's where he really looked like he might get on that roll to get that victory. Robbed of opportunity, as we see a bit of hustle here on the outside. And it is Ethan Ewing getting into this ride. He's really deep at the moment, trying to drive around to find that open face, and he can't do it. So you'd have to say advantage Jack Robinson in the opening stages here.
Well, and instantly he's going to get priority, right? So now he can get choice of wave, and already he's going to execute it.
Yeah, it almost looked like he was in two minds about this ride, but he's fully committed now. Straight into one of those big drawn-out calves, up into the pocket, drifts those fins, and that's an aggressive approach. He's on his way to a good opener already, bouncing back over the foam, staying close to the bowl here. Robinson showing great variation as he gets on the attack here in the final of the Corona Open J-Bay. The West Aussie surfer on an incredible run this year, chasing his third victory in 2022. And he has kicked off with a bang as he looks to really reignite this ride down the line with something exciting. There's a bit of foam on the face, though, so it's going to be tricky. But he is sticking with it, just looking for any extra numbers that he can on the inside. It's gotten a little disjointed down the line, but he did do some great work on that outside section. Didn't get that big high-impact finish, though, Pete.
Yeah, he left a little open there for Ethan. I mean, that was an amazing start to that wave. Such, you know, incredible surfing. One of the first times we've seen an actual attack into the lip, and that's conducive to what we have on offer, that little light breeze on shore. It's allowing them to attack that lip, and exactly what Jack Robinson's doing, a point of difference. We haven't seen that all event long.
Talk about stepping things up. When it counts, Jack Robinson is going to really just obliterate Ethan on the opening exchange, but you know, there's so much time on the clock here. Ethan wanted to get that quick start, Laura, but this one, it just stretched out. Yeah, this is going to be hurtful for Ethan to turn around and see that Jack Robinson, the second wave of the set when he had priority, was the one to go. But Jack Robinson just laying in here into the lip there, tail throw. Absolutely amazing surfing here by Jack. So much variety. And the way that this wave bowled out so he could slice there, putting so much power into the rail, and a huge big throw tail slash there. Absolutely, wow. We haven't seen Jack really go to those kind of turns in the event so far. Yeah, he's really relied on rails and those tube rides to get his best numbers. Yeah, and I think, again, we're talking about a totally different type of conditions than we've had all event long. You got this little light onshore breeze, which allows you to attack the lip. I mean, it's going to give him that opportunity. That wave, all of that surfing was done directly, the most closest portion of the judges' eyes they could see. It was right in front of them. You know, the fact that that back end of that wave was kind of a little bit slow, I don't think it's going to affect the score too much. It feels like it's going to be excellent, and it's going to be a tough start for Ethan. Jack knew he would have known that he'd have to step things up because, you know, you compare the two surfers, and Ethan is a little bit sharper on the rail and certainly has a little bit more variety with those open face turns as well. Yeah, Ethan is so clean. The calves he's been doing this event have just been mind-boggling, the way that he can hold them so long. But look at that score for Jack Robinson. Well, thinking about that women's final, amazing Lisa Anderson broke through in 96 here, got a victory. Trudy Todd, Melanie Redmond-Carr, Megan Abubo. Then there was 18 years before we got the women back here in Championship Tour events. 2018, Stephanie Gilmore got a win. Carissa Moore in 2019, but our first goofy-footed champ. First time we've ever had a goofy footer win here, and that just goes to show that this place is very conducive to backhand surfing. Sure is. Tatiana Weston-Webb. So strong in these bigger conditions. Jack Robinson, what a start to the final, an 8.83. Yeah, he felt like it was excellent, you know, from the surfing he did on that outside section. Yeah, it's always kind of a letdown as we watch the champ get chaired up the beach. First goofy-footed champ on the women's side, also the first Brazilian on the women's side to break through for a CT win here at Jeffries. I am just not surprised, getting carried up there by Felipe. What an absolute moment. This is going to be seared in her memory forever. A win at Jeffreys Bay, added to the list of absolute heroes. Oh, someone goes down. See how the way it burned. Absolutely buzzing, and really has just done a great job of getting herself up into that WSL Final 5 now, and she wants another shot at the world title. She got so close last year.
Yeah, moved into third position. She's going to open up that gap too as well, because there's 2,200 extra points over the next placing. So it's almost the biggest gap you can have, as those wins mean so much.
Meanwhile, back in the lineup, let's see if Ethan Ewing can find the big response to the absolute bomb of a number that Jack Robinson put down on the opening ride. Ethan just has to wait a little bit to get back out in front of this wave. Now starts to go to those turns. Love that kick on the tail. You talked about his extension through these top turns, Pete, as he made his way through the semi-finals, but he's got to really connect some big moves through the inside here to turn this into a comparable number to Jack's last ride. There's a monster hit from Ewing.
Oh.
And he's not done with this ride just yet, so really linking the last section of the wave together beautifully after a bit of downtime through the mid portion of the wave.
Crazy stuff, considering where that was on the reef in comparison to Jack Robinson's, but very comparable surfing happening on that inside section. So you feel like maybe it'll be a little lower, but ultimately those two turn combos was sick.
They were absolutely incredible, those two turns. And yeah, like you were saying, the wave, it just didn't look like anything too special in that middle part, but Ethan just sticking with it to just find the moments of magic throughout, and just that, his surfing's just so fun to watch.
Massive opportunity here for Ethan, already taking a big result here, but if he can get the victory, he'll move into third place, jumping ahead of Italo Ferreira. Jack Robinson already clinched and really closing in on Felipe Toledo if he can get the victory.
This is so true, you know, and again, you know, it would be the opportunity for his third win. You know, and that's, again, what I was talking about, that 2,200 extra points. The wins have been emphasized. They like, you know, the points are set up so that those wins mean more than anything.
Jack Robinson sizing up his second wave. Went excellent on his first ride. Still waiting on the scores for Ewing as Jack draws off the bottom and gives up on this one, but was really sizing up his options, and it looks like it was a wise decision, Pete. That wave kind of pushing off the reef.
Yeah, there it is right there on your screen. It's pushing off to, you know, but it was way up top of the point. I was thinking to myself, wow, he's getting the one way up there. It's going to maximize the entire wave, but unfortunately that one backed off, and it was a good choice.
Yeah, we touched on it yesterday, you know, and this morning. It's almost instinctual, that read. You sense the energy in that wall and start to predict what it might do down the line. Ethan saw good things at the end of this ride, and that's why he stuck with it.
Yeah, and there's two moments throughout this ride where he had to kind of sit and wait it out. He gets a nice turn here, didn't get the ability to go up and over on that one. And then again, just the carve out in the face. But this is where it steepens up, and there's a couple turns in here that are just incredible. Not that one there, but this one, just this two-turn combo with the snap into the lip and just accelerate through it on the forehand. Again, it's very difficult to do, to get that type of turn, and then the layback snap again where he gets that extension. Cool stuff from Ethan Ewing. That's why he's been so popular here.
Yeah, but not as high a number as what Jack Robinson put up earlier on. It's a 7.17, but here's a slow-mo of that money turn on this ride.
Right up there at the tail, just blown into the lip, attacking the lip. And again, that's so cool because we get the opportunity for these surfers to do that. And then this layback snap too, just an extension with the back foot. He's just literally karate chopping the lip. And then absorbing it, really. And that's kind of, you know, that balance of being able to push and then allow the energy to, you know, absorb. That's that timing. That's everything that makes him so special.
Unbelievable stuff. Yeah, Jack Robinson, 3 finals for 3 victories. This is his 4th. Ethan Ewing in his first CT final strata, and really answering back nicely there.
Yeah, some beautiful surfing from Ethan. You know, the type of surfing he's been doing all year. He's just been unlucky in some of his heats where he hasn't gotten the waves to actually perform that. And so when we see him actually get the waves, this is what we're going to see. And it's just that beautiful surfing we're used to from Ethan Ewing. And from Jack, you know, Jack's I don't think he's ever been known as that big carve guy. You know, he's always been known for the tube. He's always been known for the aerial antics, but not for the type of surfing he's doing now. And I really feel like, I don't know, you guys could comment on this, but that he's kind of grown into the surfer he is now on tour this year. Watching him do those big gouges and those carves out here at JB, I feel like he's just maturing as the year goes on. And it's really impressive to watch a guy that kind of learning at that stage and getting better and better and better.
I think you hit the nail right on the head. I think even his rail surfing since, you know, he managed a victory on a right-hand point break. He relied on barrels at times, but and the airs, but over there in Mexico last year, his rail turns weren't as clean and as sharp as what they are now. So he's continuing to evolve, the 24-year-old. As we've got Ethan Ewing now using his priority on this one. Good looking wall standing up. Smooth first carve, up into the pocket again. And just slicing through the face of this wave, staying nice and close to the bowl. Just a linking turn there. Just trying to put it all together and paint a nice picture for the panel as he drives up into this steeper section of the wave now. Again, just arcing off the top, wants to really get some of these more high impact turns done down the line, and there is a sensational layback jam as he kicks out. So he only needed a 1.97 to get into the lead. That's going to be enough. And again, just pacing himself nicely, even with the way that he's getting back out into the ski now.
Well, he's 27 minutes into it and already surfed a couple heats today. So yeah, you can pace yourself. We'll allow that. But man, that was incredible. That one turn, I felt so sorry for that poor wall, J-Bay.
Yeah, I saw you had a physical reaction to it, Pete, gritting your teeth and really feeling that turn.
And I think that the judges will get the same thing. I mean, I think everyone in the audience watching that one, I mean, it was an incredible display of power surfing.
Jack really careful not to interfere there.
Yeah, smart. I mean, because you cross over the front. We saw that earlier with Chris Amore gaining an interference because she kicked out. But, you know, oh, man, that just beautiful arc. And it's so effortless. I mean, he does not work hard for those turns, and all of a sudden they just look so amazing. I mean, and Laura, this inside turn here, I mean, we both felt that one.
Yeah, we were waiting for this wave to wall up. We just knew that he was going to do something really, really special here. Just carving there. It was still a bit fat here, but look at this turn. This is where the money comes up. That huge layback slash, getting so much speed out of it, throwing absolute buckets of spray back to Australia.
felt like I mean, a speed blur. It was that kind of just the water coming off the rail was so quick. And again, the compression. And he goes into these turns, and this is the technique, the extension, all of the stuff that you got to do, and just the twist. I mean, he does have that ability to twist his hips that gives it an accentuation to the maneuver. I mean, this one feels like it's better than the 717. I don't know if it goes quite the 883, but either way, it's going to give him the lead, and it's going to be another number that's probably in the exit range.
Well, look, Jack Robinson would have heard the cheers, so he knows he'll need something here, and he throws the tail. And we haven't seen too much of that risk on that outside. And Jack is really in attack mode. He's surfing on top of that bowl as he now gets away from the pocket to maintain pace with this open wall and glides out through the cut down to set up this hit on the inside. And it's a very explosive turn to finish this right off. And it's going to be another good number for Robinson. We've got a great final on our hands here. The first All-Australian final we've had since Mick Fanning and Julian Wilson in 2015. Obviously, that year we kind of got robbed of the show.
Yeah, we did.
But it was a different kind of show. 2014, we also saw an All-Australian heat. Mick Fanning got the jump on Joel Parkinson there. So this is a big one. I'm sure family and friends of both these competitors are tuned in and watching this one unfold, and both these guys are turning up in a big way.
That was a different brand of surfing that we saw there. I mean, that was basically lip slides and grinds, and you know, that was kind of like pool skating for Jack Robinson. Totally different from the on the face carvy. You know, it's like who's gonna, you know, the judge tower, who's gonna be more attuned to the style of Ethan or the looseness of Jack Robinson.
Yeah, the way that he read this wave was like, we haven't seen this at all this week. Into the lip here, big tail slide, riding backwards to spin that board around. But yeah, just the read on it was just so fun to watch, exciting, but interesting as well.
Well, you had to chase this one here, but you know, the finish move, you know, going all this way and then getting this finish move and attacking the lip again, just drifting the fins. That hadn't been happening all event long, and now we get to see it in this final. And Jack Robinson just adjusting to what the conditions are offering on him. You know, awesome stuff.
The unpredictability of Jack Robinson, he always seems to do something that I'm just not ready for at all.
Yeah, he's really on at the moment. He had such a frantic semi-final heat and did really well to regain his composure. He skipped across the rocks and got himself back out there. And yeah, this is going to be another good score. We're still waiting on a number for Ethan Ewing as well. But Pete, when you're just sort of digesting those rides, seeing those replays, you know, how do you think the fins-free approach of Jack Robinson is going to compare to the really you know, world-class rail turns that Ethan did on the outside.
And it's a subjective, right? I personally am attracted to the Ethan Ewing last wave. It feels like it's just going to be just underneath Jack Robinson's wave that he just had there. It's going to be excellent, which I believe is to be true. Whereas Jack's wave, again, not going to have as much, even though he had the tail release and all that, I just don't know that it keeps with the flow of the ride as much. So the judges might take that into effect.
Well, we're waiting on the numbers to drop now. They're looking pretty good for Jack Robinson. And he really needed a response because Ethan did jump up into the lead, but we're going to see a lead changer again here. Jack getting the number that he needs, a 6.93 to get himself back in front. Jack Robinson holds the lead here in the final of the Corona Open J-Bay. And this has been a super impressive final so far, Luke, and we've still got just over 20 minutes to enjoy.
Wave for wave, Ron. Can't believe it. I think the conditions are going to keep giving these guys some nice canvases for that next 22 minutes. But I'd just like to mention 2 Australians in the top 5. Pretty proud right now. And we've got 4 in the top 10. So, yeah, a little bit of a comeback for the Australians. And these 2 guys have been hopes for us for a while. And, yeah, they're just showing what they've got. And, yeah, I'm just pretty stoked to see 2 Aussies in the final.
Yeah, it's been a tough road too, and this event, you know, has been dominated the past few years by the Brazilian competitors. They've just been so strong out here, and in the earlier rounds we're again kind of setting the pace. But, you know, there had to be an answer. Jack Robinson's been really competitive against those serious title contenders all season, and Ethan Ewing throwing his hat in the ring as well here, but he's got some work to do. He needs an 8.1, and that's one thing that he's kind of struggled to do throughout each of the rounds. Ethan, he's gotten into that high 7-point range, but he's only once gotten into the excellent range and got that 9-point ride, so he's going to have to flare things up with 21.5 minutes to go. You'd expect he would. Right now, though, let's hear from the winner of the Corona Open J-Bay on the women's side, Tatiana Weston-Webb with Rosie Hodge.
Well, our Corona J-Bay Open champion, Tatiana Weston-Webb, unbelievable throughout this event, but it was your commitment on that inside section. Tell us about the tenacity that it takes to really attack J-Bay when it's showing its teeth.
I don't know, just not thinking, I guess, and just going. Yeah, I love surfing my backhand. A lot of people know that, but it's just been a while since I've put everything together and had things really go my way. And I think this event, things just kept going my way, and I just felt really in rhythm and in flow. And man, the whole time I just was having a blast, and I think that's what set me apart.
And self-belief is so important in surfing. You mentioned those highs that you've had this season, the win in Portugal, the win here in J-Bay, but the lows. How do you keep the confidence, the self-belief, and just backing yourself throughout?
But I just put a lot of faith in God, and you know, I trust that the process is for the better and that I'm going to become a better person at the end of the day. And yeah, I'd like to thank my husband, because without him I wouldn't be a better person. Hi, Jesse. And yeah, my family, mom, dad, I love you guys so much. Troy is my brother, and he's basically pushed me to surf big waves my whole life, so this one's for you.
On the back of the ski, you thank the fans, and obviously that's a big part of this, is the people pushing you. A lot of cheers on the beach, but I know you have a lot of Brazilian support. Let's hear it in Portuguese.
Oi, todo mundo no Brasil, deu nós, muito obrigada pelo apoio, por acordar cedo, né, todos os dias, e oh, graças a Deus que deu tudo certo. Deus me ajudou bastante nesse final. Na verdade foi bem perigoso, né, nas pedras, mas graças a Deus que deu tudo certo, e eu tô muito honrada de representar o nosso país lindo.
Congratulations, this is an amazing win.
Thank you, Rosie. And Tati's beaming for good reason. Job done. Got herself into that WSL Final 5. She'll obviously work really hard to elevate her position there and give herself another great shot at a world title over there at Trestles in September at the Rip Curl WSL Finals. But a bit of an exchange unfolding here at the moment in this final. A seesawing battle between Ethan Ewing and Jack Robinson, and Ethan getting this one, Pete, during the interview.
Yeah, this 4 turns right here are solid as they come. Bigger wave, bigger section. This one here just tail taps, keeps that speed flying down the line into another beautiful arc. And then the finish, the big down carve, feels like to me that this is going to be a number that's going to go into his top 2. And if it's above the 7.67, he's going to cut into that lead. Matter of fact, if he gets the 8.1, he takes the lead. Beautiful arc there, pushing hard. Nice and clean, just the top to bottom. There was a couple double bump bottom turns, but oh, some passion. We like it.
Ethan Ewing buzzing after that ride, and Luke Egan, we don't often see that from the Queenslander.
Finally, Ron, finally. Finally some emotion there from Ethan Ewing. He's just such a quiet dude, and the boys were commenting during the week that when he gets a good wave, his claim is the nose blow. He just like holds the nose and pulls his hand away. But finally we saw some emotion from Ethan, and I think that's going to be the score.
Yeah, well, his heart is going to be thumping right now as he waits on these numbers. 18 minutes to go. There's still so much time left in this final here at the Corona Open. J-Bay numbers rolling through for Ethan Ewing. They're going into the 9s, a 9.13. Biggest set wave on the attack on the outside. That big tail drop, floating re-entry, and then into the huge down carve at the end, Pete. And for the second time, he has gone into the 9s now in this contest, and he's really staved his best for the final.
I love this, and the reason why is now we get to see Jack go off, because he's going to have to, right? I mean, he's looking at a 7.98. It's going to be excellent surfing if he's going to be able to turn this heat, but what a beautiful display of surfing. A lot of that was done, again, those big major moves were done right there in that main section of Super Tubes, right in front of the judges.
Ethan Ewing, 23 years of age. He came onto the championship tour back in 2017 and didn't have great success, actually failed to requalify. And I think the time away from the CT actually allowed him to sort of get his confidence up, really work on his surfing. He grew physically a lot, and now he's got a lot more power and starting to really gather some confidence surfing in his first final here, coming off the back of a 9.13, looking to extend by getting rid of that 7.67. Pick this one off under priority and going to work. And he has hammered another solid finish out here. And he is just really feeling it at the moment. The crowd puts their hands together, but don't count out Jack Robinson, patiently waiting out the back with priority for his opportunity to really answer back in a big way.
I like what Ethan was thinking there. You know, that looked like that wave was going to give him some golden opportunities to do some really big lip work, especially at this point in the day. Light on shores, you can just attack that lip, you know, and he has a 7.67 in his scoreline. That, to me, it feels like not quite enough. You know, it needs to be probably around 17 and a half points if he really wants to put this one out of reach for Jack.
Yeah, I did like that he went that wave, and we saw the nose blow at the end of it. So a little bit of a claim, but a smaller wave here. He just turned around right when he got back out the back and just wanted to just go, I guess, do some bigger, harder turns on a small wave to try push that 7.67 to be more, to put pressure on Jack Robinson. Really amazing surfing. That is the turn of the wave, but I'm not sure if this will go into the top 2.
Yep, nose blow.
Just on the little walk here, the little track back down to the Rebel Athlete Zone, there's a pack of core locals watching the event unfold, and they've been really paying attention and loving the approach of Ethan Ewing on his road through to this final. I've walked past them a couple of times during his heats, and I just keep hearing them say that, you know, he reads the waves so well, and they love those big rail carves. You think of the great South African competitors that have chased down the big titles here. Geordie Smith has that same approach, able to hold those rail moves from the top of this tall wall right down into the bowl, lose nothing, and then transition into that big vertical hit. And Sean Holmes used to do it too.
Oh, dude, he took it. I was going to say, Sean Holmes, he was one of those guys that, I mean, and just so good at J-Bay.
Well, the numbers coming through for Ethan Ewing. We'll update you on the situation, but he has the lead at the moment. Jack Robinson trying to chase him down.
Welcome back to Jeffreys Bay. I had to get amongst it here in the grandstands. The crowds have been going wild. Every time the surfers have been up on their feet, we got lions out there. Ethan Ewing is in the lead at the moment. Guys, can Jack Robinson answer back or send it back to you?
Oh, thank you, Rosie. We think he can. He doesn't need to even get into the excellent range, but he'll want to do it. And he's up at the moment chasing a 7.98. And Jack Robinson's just really been strong in these kind of moments when his back's against the wall. he has been fighting his way out of trouble and getting through some very tough surfers to earn his place here in this final. And he's not going to back down to the challenge that's been thrown at him from Ethan Ewing. And there is another big finish from Robinson.
This is crazy. Tit for tat.
And the conditions are perfect. It was tricky this morning. There was some bump on the face. There were still those big sets, but it's dropped a little. It's lining up, and these guys are really just expressing themselves the way they want, Pete, and they're able to really attack these end sections.
It's so cool. I mean, what better ending to this? I mean, we had the threat of onshores, but by the way, it's just this light little whatsoever. What a final.
And this is one of those events with just that incredible list of past winners that everyone wants to really put their name up against. As we see the replay of Jack, he wants to get his name up there. Have a look at this.
It's so good when he's attacking that first section. Had to pump a few times to get around that section, but look at that. Just digs himself. Look at, you know, petted the little kitty to get back in. And it didn't really disrupt the flow. Matter of fact, it looked pretty darn cool because he really let everything into that turn as he finishes this one. This is, again, another one of those waves right in front of the judges that you cannot deny the surfing that he was doing there. No change for Ethan Ewing with that last wave, the 737, but look at that vertical approach in the lip.
Yeah, it really feels like Jack's been able to identify the waves that have the cleaner face. Ethan's waves have had a bit more texture on them, but look at this. I love the way that he surfed this. So much variety, slashing there.
You know, he's putting it on edge is what he's doing. You know, he's pushing hard right now, knowing, and that's what we knew was going to have to happen, is that Jack was going to have to start pushing super hard, and he does it, you know, and I think he's going to get himself the number here, a 7.98. You know, is this excellent surfing? Sure.
Again, look at how much he's put into each of these moves. I think they're going to have a really, you know, obviously the panel always looks very closely at just, you know, how much you commit to these turns. That there was some beautiful work from Jack. The big finishes are really helping him, but there was that one hack at the top where he just got stuck for a second. He recovered well, but just I felt like it maybe stalled a bit of his momentum going into that carve. The scores are starting to roll through now, so close, but it feels like it's going to be short stride. It's a 7.47.
Oh, so close, but you could tell that wasn't it. It's just a bit of a, there was a lot of drama in the finishing move where he got low and he tried to kind of sell it to the judges, I felt like. But just a touch on the conditions out here. It is blast off. There's no wind really anywhere now. I mean, it's just pretty much just really smooth, and I've seen some waves coming in, pushing onto the reef and going really hollow through this midsection. So I feel like we're going to see some barrel riding go down. I feel like we're going to see the best surfing of the heat yet to happen, as the canvas has just been pulled even tighter and looking even better.
Well, the bad news is there's only just over 9 minutes to go.
Dang it.
I'd like to put a bit more time on this clock because both these guys are just so switched on at the moment, both putting up really solid scores. Jack Robinson just falling shy on that last ride, 7.47, but he's got those big finishes. We might have to see a replay of it, but, you know, I think this wave more than any other, Laura, the judges get obviously a really kind of close look at how much flow you've got between your maneuvers, any hitches, and they're picking up on that and you know, but punishing surfers sometimes for that loss of connectivity.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that first, you know, pet the kitty, like you were saying, Pete, might have, the judges might have penalised him on that. And there were a few turns that he did throughout the wave that were just sort of kept in the top, you know, third of the wave. And I think, you know, just not being able to utilise the whole entire wave is what maybe kept that score down.
It's amazing to be just picking that apart. The surfing is still, as you said, Peter, you know, it was near excellent, but he needs that kind of number to get himself into the lead. You could see how hard he was pushing on that ride.
He was, and that's where I felt like they may reward that, but ultimately it kind of disrupts the flow when you start doing that kind of pressing and pushing and doing the little extra stuff there, because yeah, it disrupts the amount of speed that he's carried there. He finished the moves, but again, a lot of those maneuvers were done kind of in a little smaller area rather than big and open, you know, type of maneuvers.
When we had Kelly Slater in here during the semi-finals, you know, he was really picking up on just the perfect placement of Ethan's maneuvers and just the fact that he had no slip-ups. You know, the only thing that really was missing from taking his scores to that next level was, you know, that moment where he put the ride on the line and really threw something wild at us. He's still got that in the arsenal. He's kind of reserved that throughout the event, and he might bring it in the final stages here. And if Jack Robinson keeps chipping away, I think he can turn this heat and get himself into the start. And Ethan might have to pull that moment out.
Well, the priority with Ethan right now, so it's an important use again towards his back end. You obviously want to see that 7.67 if you're an Ethan Ewing fan, tossed into the bin.
Where does this event fit in, Laura, for you when you think about what we've seen this year? Pipe was incredible, but this has been one of the great JB Opens.
This has been so special, and you know, my first time here, and I'm mind blown. I'm going to be back over and over again, and yeah, it's just been at the level of surfing, the waves we've had. It's just been a magic few days. You know, full moon. I'm glad no one was surfing last night. It was it was looking very beautiful, but you know, it's just been a really fun week.
Peter, I think when we condense the highlights from this contest and whack it all together, it's going to be some kind of highlight reel. There's been so many amazing turns laid down, and sometimes amazing turns here at Jeffreys Bay don't result in big scores if you don't find that link through to the inside and put it all together. So
yeah. Well,
there's been huge individual moments.
No, there has been. I mean, and ultimately we've seen that the judging gets refined because of that, because we have been rewarding big single moves a lot this year in the exit range and beyond. But that's because we're at beach breaks, or we're at a shorter ride, or the conditions aren't great, you know, whereas here at Perfect J-Bay, you're going to be trying to link together 3-4 big moves. So there's a lot of room to be able to get excellent numbers. You put 4 gigantic turns, what are you going to do if you've already given away an 8-5 for just a 2-turn combo? So ultimately, you're always going to see that kind of happen. You're going to leave some room up top there, because anything can happen at J-Bay.
Jack Robinson, 3 CT event wins. This is, you know, since that event in Mexico, it's 3 wins, 4 finals in 10 contests.
Crazy, huh?
It's been a mad run that he's been on.
He's been like there. Everyone's been talking about the fact that if he can get to the championship tour, what's he going to do when he gets there? The quality waves are going to be so much better, because it was tough for him to actually qualify. It didn't come easy for him. He had to work for it. He had to learn how to get better in waves that weren't as good as this, as world-class waves, which he's been treated to his whole entire life.
As he takes off on the outside at the moment, Ethan Ewing passing this one up. And Jack's had a look at it down the line. He doesn't like what he sees. I think the most impressive thing, and Jack's had his critics, especially with his open face surfing, but when you look at the championship tour schedule, you think Pipe, he's got a great chance. Sunset, you know, there was a good chance coming out of Hawaii he was going to be the world #1. That's how strong he is at those 2 locations, but he didn't get the big results there. Looking down the line, G-Land and Margaret River, we expected him to do well there. He exceeded expectations. He met the expectation and really delivered. But here he is again at Jeffreys Bay, and he's just put it together so beautifully. His first effort at the Corona Open J-Bay, and he's in the final with a chance here with just over 4 minutes to go.
Strategically, this is a big moment for Ethan Ewing. He doesn't get sold on a lemon. He wants to improve on the 7.67. He's going to play some offense. He's going to have to pick that wave that's going to give him excellent numbers in order to keep that pressure on Jack.
Well, he did a good job on that last wave. He let it go, and
ooh, a little
Jack
fake.
Robinson.
He's
going to sneak into this one. How was that? Just gets that little chip shot into this ride. And let's see if he can convert now. Robinson driving up into the lip.
Oh my
so
gosh.
on edge, and hangs onto it. Has a lot of speed as he drives up into the pocket again. So the outside work was strong. What will this wave do through the inside? Ethan Ewing passing this one up, giving Jack Robinson the opportunity. And he was sneaky on the entry. As he loads up now, drives into the lip. Wow, does so well to almost hang on to that turn. Tried to force the reverse, and he's going to go down. So just on 3 minutes to go, and Ethan Ewing, he's going to hang on to the lead here.
I think that was super cool, because, you know, he literally did. He faked out Ethan Ewing. I mean, he didn't look interested, so all of a sudden Ethan's like, oh, he's not even going to go for this one? Not going to try and fake me? And he wanted the wave. That's how he did it. He didn't want to just sell that wave. He actually wanted the wave, and so he somehow figured out a way to fake him out, and he did it. He succeeded. Too bad, unfortunately, that wave didn't pan out as good as he would have liked, but man. pretty cool.
You ever seen anyone do it that well, Laura?
No, that was competitive aggression at its finest. We just missed it there, but the way that he faked Ethan to get this wave and then turned around and paddled into it, I was just thinking, is he going to make Ethan pay? Ethan was watching this whole wave unfold. It looked really nice from the start. It had an amazing taper and wall on it, but unfortunately it just had this section here that shut down, and the double up just didn't work out here. It had this bump in it, and just didn't make it very easy for Jack to be able to get anything critical here. Decided to go to the air, but unfortunately just couldn't. Almost spun it around.
Yeah, well, not enough pop there.
Really on-edge combo on the outside. I mean, he made the most of that outer section. Here it is again.
Oh, man. I mean, it was literally, he just played possum, sat there for a second, and then just stuck the tail in and got the little squirt paddle into it. Just all of a sudden, Ethan's like, whoa, wait. He didn't even have time to react.
Holding his nerve nicely, though, isn't he, Ethan? Because there's a chance, too, that he takes that ride, doesn't improve on the 7.67, and potentially, you know, a big ride rolls through, a big set, and Jack gets a shot with Ethan not even in the lineup. So it's working out so far.
It is, you know, and again, he didn't really want that wave because he didn't see the potential there. So obviously, he just didn't have to think about trying to block Jack at all. And then Jack just snuck right into it.
Laura, you surfed a championship tour final. What's it like in this situation when you can almost, you're so close to the title, to the trophy?
Yeah, well, it's hard, but you know, I was very close like Ethan, and Stephanie Gilmore stole it from me, so hopefully Ethan can hang on this time. But he's got to be smart now. A minute to go, I'm sure he's going to just zoom right in and try to stick by Jack Robinson, be his best friend, paint his toenails, give him a foot massage.
As amazing and entertaining as this final has been, I'm so disappointed that it's coming to an end. 50 seconds to go here. Ethan Ewing in his first final and potentially about to shut it down. He answered back in a big way. Jack Robinson set the pace early on. Ethan Ewing, though, answered with the big 9.13. And with 30 seconds to go, there's not a whole lot of set wave action on the horizon.
Yeah, this is good stuff for all those Ethan Ewing fans. He is just 20 seconds away from his first championship tour win. And it's going to be well-deserved because he has been one of the standouts this entire event.
10 p.m. on a Saturday night at home in Queensland. I'm sure there's going to be some party people, so everyone tuning in. This is what a moment for Ethan Ewing.
Absolutely massive. Yeah, a few people not turning up to work on Monday morning, especially on Stradbroke. Ethan Ewing is going to break through and get his first championship tour win here at stop number 9, the Corona Open J-Bay. And what a final it was. Have a look at the numbers for these two competitors. Jack Robinson refused to give up Pete. He had excellent scores of his own, but Ethan Ewing has gotten the job done with that beautiful, elegant approach and that incredible variety on the forehand.
It was so cool to watch and such an impressive win. And again, being pressed. This is how surfing grows. This is how the performances grow, is when you have surfers like this pushing each other in such a beautiful setting with J-Bay walls. I mean, incredible stuff.
This is the future right here. This is some, you know, the next generation of icons to come through. I feel like we're going to see these two making finals for years to come.
I think it's the next generation of challengers. There is still those dominant title contender forces that these two are going to try and overcome. But